A good time to be holding your purchasing power and your wealth digitally. Tell me about that. We got wars breaking out all over the place. Got nasty things happening here. Got regime changes. The president is trying to be assassinated with number one, number two, number three different attempts. And you guys want to hold your coin of the realm in something that's owned by the Bank for International Settlements, the people that are actually running this whole thing. Is this a good time to hold anything digitally or anything that isn't the real McCoy? The real McCoy right now is the truth coming out to you through here. And you're not watching any commercials. You're not sponsoring this thing. Nobody's sponsoring this but Margaret Ann and I. We have a mission to get this message out to you that big things are happening, folks. Big biblical things are happening right now. And this is an unusual opportunity for you to be able to take control and change the whole course of destination for your family. Generational wealth will be determined right now. Either you're holding the coin of the realm, you're holding dimes are the best deal out there, $1 or $2 over spot, or if you're outside the country and you have the smallest division coin of the realm in your area, you should be piling into that as fast as you possibly can. The digits are going by the wayside. The whole regime is going. The dollar bill is going away as we know it. It's going to be backed by silver for the people, gold for international trade. Take it to the bank. And the Panic of 1893. What in the world happened then? Well, the Panic of 1893 was an economic depression in the United States. Did you know that? Hit the like, share, subscribe, and I'll continue reading. It began in February 1893 and officially ended 8 months later, but it was followed shortly thereafter by the Panic of 1896. Got to have another panic 3 years later, right? It was the most serious economic depression in history until the Great Depression of the 1930s. The Panic of the 1983 deeply affected every sector of the economy and produced political upheaval that led to the political realignment and presidency of William McKinley. The panic climaxed with a run on gold from the United States Treasury. As part of the panic on May 5th, 1893, the Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 24% in a single day after the bankruptcy of National Cordage Company. This was the largest single-day drop until the Great Depression. Unemployment rates in many states rose above 25%, and poverty became widespread. And you know why that happened? Because they artificially inflated the money supply. Then they took the dollars out of the money supply. People would make payments, and the banks came in and took everything. That's the way it works.
Breaking, video shows drone setting Los Angeles on fire. Chaos has taken over Los Angeles, and now a new video is fueling even more controversy. The footage shows a drone flying over the edge of a forested area, releasing a flammable liquid directly onto the vegetation, igniting an uncontrollable inferno. The video, recorded by a witness from a distance, reveals how the device appears to act deliberately, targeting strategic areas to maximize the fire's spread. What started as an isolated blaze quickly consumed hectares of forest, forcing entire neighborhoods to evacuate and leaving thousands in panic. While some have suggested the video might be fake, witnesses at the scene confirmed seeing the drone in action. It moved fast, almost like it knew exactly where to cause the most damage, shared a resident who narrowly escaped. Is this video evidence of a carefully orchestrated plan? Who is behind this attack on Los Angeles? Uncertainty continues to grow as residents struggle to rebuild their lives amid this nightmare.
The National Guard men and women that have been on here, we pre-positioned 120 engines, helicopters, dozers, water tenders. We did that on Sunday, 2 days before this event.
To rebuild these communities back and rebuild them better than they were when we started this fire.
It's insane. This is just not what the medical healthcare system is supposed to be like in Ontario.
Got here about 5:30 and been on the Healthcare Connect list for about 10 years now. Haven't had a doctor for longer than that, so kind of a strange way to have people sign up for a doctor, but hopefully I get one.
The hubris, goodness. These three billionaires receive quarterly payments from Biden's Treasury Department in what looks like the largest pay-for-play ever. This one outraged me. Mark Cuban Bill Gates and Warren Buffett each donated over $1 billion to the Biden 2020 campaign. But the story doesn't end there, says Doge auditor Joe Barron. Then they were each paid $250 million quarterly for 4 years for a total of $4 billion. The taxpayer subsidized their donation 4 times over. Without Doge, no one would have ever known. Reported on him the other day. AOC and Ilhan Omar both received student loan forgiveness of more than $100,000 each. But were they tagged with the income on it? They make $174,000 a year, and both have net worths in excess of $20 million. They need to pay that money back right now. The next spat of slides that we have up here is about judges being arrested. Special counsel recommends removal of Judge Tiffany Foxworth Roberts, documents show. Panel recommends Hillsborough Judge Nancy Jacobs be removed from bench. Jacobs violated judicial canons in her successful 2022 campaign against Judge Jared Smith, in which abortion was a key issue. Another judge arrested in Boston, Judge Shelley Joseph, is arrested for willful judicial misconduct, failed to comply with the law. Her guilty plea today says that she refused to admit in her media interviews she broke the law, lied to the public, and used her office for her own personal gain. Ms. Fernandez Anderson leaves a legacy not of selfless trailblazer, but one of fraud, greed, and deceit. The United States Attorney's Office is committed to ensuring elected officials are held accountable for this kind of corruption and dishonesty.
This is the best video I have seen on Trump's tariffs, and this is actually a former Democrat that is saying this. Watch this video.
I find so frustrating about the conversation around tariffs is that we all agree on the problem. We all agree that the deindustrialization of America led to the downward mobility of the American working class, deaths of despair, people working multiple jobs and not being able to afford the American dream. We all agree that it is deeply unfair for the American middle class to be bearing the burden of unfair tariffs from other countries. We all agree that it is great for the president to have leverage in order to demand reasonable things, like that country stop allowing fentanyl to murder 100,000 Americans every year, and that Mexico do its part to police its own border. And yet when somebody has the courage to show up and say to Wall Street, screw you, I am waging war, I'm waging class warfare on behalf of the American working class, and you elites in Wall Street, you do what you need to do because I'm not going to stop fighting for the American working class. Suddenly, everybody is sitting around going, oh no, the stock market. Yeah, the stock market looks like that because the rich are punishing Trump for siding with the neglected and humiliated American working class over them. We have already seen these tariffs work, Pierce. The number of people crossing the southern border is at 0. Fentanyl is at record lows for the last 10 years. We have already seen $1.2 trillion in manufacturing invested in this country since January 21st. So they have already worked. Now, how long is Wall Street going to keep trying to punish this president for standing the American working class? I don't know, but I can tell you that the view from the street is people cannot believe that there is a president who is working for them, who is putting them first and telling Wall Street to go screw itself. Wall Street, which picked the Democrats for the last 3 election cycles in a row. That's what the real story is here. About Canada, a lot of people are asking, why Canada? We love Canada. Canada are our friends. Why wage this tariff war on Canada? And of course, the answer is simple. Canada and Mexico are the back door to the American economy because we have this trade deal with them, the USMCA. If Canada and Mexico do not match our tariffs on China, China simply builds car manufacturing plants in Canada and in Mexico, which they have already done, and they use that in order to get tariff-free cars into the American market, which is exactly what President Trump is trying to get away from. So what he wants from them is for them to close that back.
RFK Jr. sounds the alarm on BlackRock. Boy, this company's gotten too big and it's got to go. They're their own government, for gosh sakes. Watch.
2 years ago, the average cost of a house in this country was $215,000. Today, it's $400,000. And the interest rates you're going to pay on that house have gone from 1% to 7%. So you're paying 10 times as much for that house you were 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. I have 7 kids. They're all between 20, 35 years old. They should be moving into their own homes. Mm-hmm. But I don't know any of them or any of their friends who are actually buying a home now. And one of the reasons for why did the price of housing go up? Well, one, because of the inflation, because we spent $8 trillion on wars and $16 trillion on COVID, which we didn't have. So they print money, which caused the price of everything to go up. More importantly, there's three giant corporations, BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard, which own collectively, they own each other. So it's really one giant corporation. But they also own 89% of the S&P 500. They own everything. They've now decided to buy every single family home in America. So if they stay on the current trajectory, they will own 60% of the homes in this country, single family homes, by 2030. They literally are trying to buy everything. And the head of it, Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, is on the board of the World Economic Forum, and what they've said, we want this great reset, which is you will own nothing and you will be happy. Well, they're on their way to making sure that we don't own anything. So you all probably have heard of people who are about to buy a home, and somebody comes in at the last minute with a cash offer and snatches it out of the market.
Right.
And it's usually an LLC with an ambiguous name. But if you trace that up, you'll find it's owned by BlackRock.
Wow.
And because they have a huge bank book, the cost of money and interest to them is tiny, which means they can outcompete your children. Your kids do not have a chance to buy that home because they can't outcompete BlackRock.